First, let me say, this is why I'm making butternut squash soup today. This is what it's like in Florida today. But you know what? I'm not complaining. I moved here from Massachusetts, where it's colder, there's snow, and you know what? I love the rain. I love getting a break from the heat. I love the 70, 80-degree days, and today's just perfect for some soup. So I'm gonna go in and get started. Welcome to Cooking with the Carters. As I mentioned, today we're doing butternut squash soup. This is a channel, as I often say, it's not a gourmet channel, it's not a fancy schmancy channel. It's everyday meals, or maybe some Portuguese food, or just surprises in there, but and I use a lot of times frozen stuff. For this, it's 2 bags of butternut squash, already diced, pepper and onion blend, a handful of that, and sometimes I don't put meat, and sometimes I do. It depends what I have on hand. I did have some beef strips, and I just threw in like 3 or 4. That's it. And that's how I do things. I wing it. And some of my best recipes are from just tossing stuff in there and winging it. So I put it on high. I'm going to let it cook. Again, like I said, 2 bags of butternut squash, or you can use fresh squash, pepper and onion blend, a couple of beef strips, and I will record the other stuff off soon. I'm going to do a roux, and then obviously add noodles and all that. But this is the first step, get all this to cook. Also, after this is cooked, I'm going to pull the beef strips out, cut them up very small, and then I will blend the rest of the stuff in the pot, which I'll record. And then I'll put the beef strips back in and show you the next steps. Okay, so while the squash is cooking on the stove, I just threw in my rice cooker 1 cup of barley, 2 cups water, and turned it on. Like I said, I tend to wing things. Sometimes I don't add barley. Sometimes I just add noodles, or even couscous. I've added pearled couscous in there. Today I'm doing the barley. So if you have barley, or you want to go out and buy some, go ahead, and you can do it with barley, or whatever you want. Hope you don't mind a quick recess for me to film my pain in the ass cat. Oh yeah, by the way, you might catch a bad word here and there on my channel. What can I say? It's me. Okay, so the butternut is cooked. Everything's cooked. I'm going to turn this off for now. And now I'm going to take my hand blender, and blend it all up. Remember, I pulled the meat out. I'm gonna pause this for now. Okay, so I'm done blending it. Obviously, it's gonna be very watery, but don't worry, because we're gonna make a roux. And I'm gonna chop the meat up smaller, throw that in there, but I'm not gonna put it in there yet. Right now, we have the soup blended. And now I have to thicken it up first, add the roux to it, and then we'll add everything else. Now to start on the roux, and I'm going to be honest, I just learned how to make a roux last year. I mean, when I wanted to thicken something up, I used to use mashed potato flakes. But My husband did show me how to make a roux, and that's so much better. But, so the soup is pretty watery, and it depends how thick you want to get it. You could start off slow. I did a couple of tablespoons of butter. It's melting right now, okay? And then you'll see that I'll add flour and whisk it, and you'll see how I do it. And if your soup ends up not thick enough, you can always go back, make more roux. Or if it's too thick, then you just add water. I mean, it's fairly simple. All right, so I'm gonna put the phone down for a minute. All right, so I have some flour in here, and I lowered the heat on the stove. And I'm gonna sprinkle the flour in. Whisk it with the butter. You know what? I need more butter. I can already see. And let that melt a little bit. So I recruited my husband to come over here and record so that you can actually see into the pot what I'm doing.
Notice I'm the one that's on film.
Oh, you're handsome. You are.
Anyways, what am I doing?
Anyway. All right, hold on. Okay, so here we go. Now you can see into the pot. I think it needs a little more flour. Am I right, husband, or what? Needs a little more flour.
I guess. Depends on how thick you want to make it.
Okie dokie. You want to cook up the flour really well. And start pouring some of the soup in it. Okay. Gently whisk it. You don't want it splashing it back in your face. And as you whisk it, it will get really thick, and you keep adding more soup. Ooh, I forgot to turn the fan on. It's getting hot in here. My husband has strict instructions just to get the pot, because as a woman, I'm self-conscious. It's like, look, don't get my belly, don't get my boobs.
Just pour more soup in there, would you?
We're definitely going to be a unique channel, that's for sure. Yeah. A little more soup. So So this gets pretty boring, but I think you get the concept. You just keep adding the soup and whisking it. As you whisk it and cook it up, it will get thicker and thicker, and you'll add more soup, and until you have it the way you want it, basically. So it's at this thickness right now. Add more soup. And don't even bother tasting it, because, I mean, all we did was cook the butternut squash, and nothing's been seasoned, the roux hasn't been added, you know, that will come along. Oh, you can pause that. Now it's back to pouring outside again. I love it though. Okay, so almost about half this pot is the roux, and it's pretty good consistency. So now I'm going to be pouring it into the bigger pot, into the soup. So now I'm pouring it in. I'm going to set this aside in case I feel like I have to make more roux. Now, put that back on a little bit, medium, just whisk it just a little bit. It is going to get thicker as it cools. Now my husband kind of corrected me earlier and said, you know, there's nothing wrong with seasoning it before you throw everything else in. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Not to me anyway. Everybody always loves my soup. But I do take advice. So right now I'm sprinkling in some salt after I've added the roux. Well, this is all up to you. I mean, I love salt. I tend to add a lot of salt to things. Onion powder. A little bit of celery seed. I like to add curry to my butternut squash, and I add a good amount. See, I don't also perfectly measure everything either. I mean, I just really can't go wrong. I mean, sprinkle a little bit of pepper. Give that all a stir. Now the bag of pepper and onions that I have, when I blended the squash, the peppers got blended in there too. And that's fine for taste, but for looks, I just add the peppers and onions afterwards too. I don't don't know, it just makes the soup look prettier. And it's tasty. So now I'm gonna go over and grab my barley that's been cooking over here in my rice cooker. Throw that in there. And that, whoa, made a mess. And that will help thicken up the soup as well. Like I said, I wing things, so I just added the barley, and I figured, hey, why not? I'll throw in some those short egg noodles. I don't know if you could see. Just, I don't know, a handful or so. Let that cook. Now, I'm going to cut up those beef strips a little bit. Okay, hopefully you can see. I mean, just little pieces. Yeah, little bite-sized pieces. Throw that in the soup. I'll spare you the boredom and pause this. Okay, so add a little bit more salt. Now I'm going to get half and half. Half and half. Pour some of that in. Like I said, just pour some of that in. Like, I barely measure things. Soups, you have a lot of leeway. It's not like, I don't know, something you're baking where you have to be precise. Soups you can play around with. So the noodles are cooking. I'll see if I need to add some more noodles or not, or if it's the way I like it. And basically, that's what you're doing from here. Is you're tasting it, adding the seasoning, salt, celery seed, curry powder, parsley. I didn't add that yet. Add a little bit of parsley in there. Oh, and one thing I like to add to just about everything I make, I'm actually adding the Goya. It's for soups and stuff, and it's got like just a mild, very mild tomato flavor to it. I use a lot of the Goya products. I grew up in a Portuguese household. So in the soup pot, I'm just stirring it up, cooking that pasta, the egg noodles. In my smaller pot, this one where I made the roux, I just added some water and put a couple of more beef strips. See, that's what I'm saying. You can always just add more stuff as you go. I put like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 more strips in there. I'll cut them up, add it to the soup. I put a little bit more of the pepper and onion blend. And a little bit more of the curry, onion powder. I think black pepper would be, some more of the black pepper would be a good idea. Lower that a little bit. Keep stirring so that things don't stick to the bottom. And depending how the soup thickens, I might add a little bit more cream too. So this is another view. I have it now on low. And so you can see there's the meat and the barley, the pasta in there. I think I'm going to add more pasta. My son likes it a lot with more pasta in it. You know, my son has a massive appetite, but he has autism, and he can be, he's 24 years old and still eats like a kid. I mean, pizza, chicken nuggets, things like that. But one thing he does love is soups, even vegetable soups. It's fun feeding him because he has such a good appetite. Or if there's like leftovers in the fridge that we want to get rid of, give it to Gregory. It's kind of like that Life commercial for us older people. If you remember the Life commercial, Life cereal, give it to Mikey, he'll eat it. That's my son. Okay, so like I said, I was cooking the barley and the noodles. I cooked more of the beef strip off to the side, and then cut it up. So, and you can see this has definitely gotten thicker. And I also, like I said, I tend to, where is it? It's in here somewhere. I wing things and make last minute decisions sometimes. So I did a little piece of sausage. Sometimes I do add sausage to it, whereas whatever I have, even like I have this turkey smoked sausage, and I'm just gonna cut up some little pieces because I already have the beef strips. So many people, my friends, have had this soup and they love it. Now, like I said, because of the consistency, I had already put cream in here, but I think I could just add a little bit more. So this soup is basically done. From here, it's just a matter of adding the seasonings, taste testing it all the time until you get it the way you like. Oh, and I do have to, when the sausage is cooked up. I just have to cut it into smaller pieces, but that's it. I mean, that is how you make it. You can just always add other things if you want. From here, you won't see it, but I'm gonna keep tasting it and adding more salt if I need it, or more curry, whatever. But this is the gist of it. Okay, I'm back to say that I ended up adding about a half a cup of water to it. It did still thicken up some more, and so I did the water because if you keep adding the cream, I mean, eventually you're not even going to taste butternut. So I added some water. And, you know, if I have to add more after it cools off, that's fine. Right now it's a pretty good consistency. And the only reason I still have the pot on is I also added a little bit more of the sausage. There's plenty of peppers and meat and sausage in there. So the sausage is just finishing cooking up. Once in a while when I make this, I'll like put in just a little bit of spinach in there. You know, I just like to play around with stuff, but it's pretty much done. I was kind of mad at my husband today because he made a quiche, a breakfast quiche this morning. We bought one of those like Ninja toaster ovens, and we love it. We just got it yesterday, and we're both like fighting to use it. And I guess he wanted to test it out further, and he made a breakfast quiche. And I was like, why didn't you record it? You could have put it on the channel. So I told him from now on, when he makes his stuff, to make sure, if I'm not around, to make sure he records it. So next time he makes it, we will. So stay tuned. I don't have a lot of people on this, a lot of subscribers yet on my channel. So I'm thinking giving it about 2 months, probably around Christmas. Whoever writes in the comment section, I'm in it for the win. You got to comment, I'm in it for the win, in the comment section. And I'll pick someone at random around Christmas time to receive a little gift. You'll obviously have to, you know, send me your address or whatever, and I'll send you a little gift. So that's the contest or the challenge. Comment in the comment section. I'm in it for the win. And be nice with your comments. I hope you like the soup. I do take constructive criticism though. But I hope it comes out good. All right. Bye. I almost forgot to say that anyone who I've made this soup for, who has raved about it, which I think just about everybody did, and you're watching this, please write in the comment section what you thought of it. Tell everybody how good it was. Oh, and that contest about a minute for the win, when you comment, to win a gift, you also have to subscribe and stay subscribed. I forgot to add that in, so just hit the subscribe button. All right, thanks.